What's up, guys? So I didn't really expect to make this video today, but it has come to my attention that there's been some questions and criticism from people online, especially a singular trader online, about an NVIDIA position that I opened right before the DeepSeek gap down, got stuck in, and then worked my way out of. Now, the original position that I took on NVIDIA was caught in a major gap down on the market. Now, whether or not you think I should have taken that position, that's not really what this video is about. At the time, I thought it was a great position, and unfortunately, that macroeconomic data did put me in a pretty hefty drawdown. In today's video, I'll share with you the drawdown that I was in. Now, my game plan here on this position and sort of showing it to the world and showing it online was to wait until the outcome of the trade. And just Friday of last week, the outcome of the trade has been complete, and I was always planning on making this video for you guys about the outcome of NVIDIA because it was such a publicly talked about position. But unfortunately, I've been called out before I've had the time to make this video. So I'm going to go ahead and push up the timeline and maybe make a little bit less of a perfect video, but make something that I wanted to make because I need to defend myself here and make sure that you guys who follow me understand what was the outcome of that NVIDIA trade for my portfolio. Now, I will say the criticism from the trader online is something that I do agree with, something that I did not stay fully transparent about the drawdown that I was in. I did not share the drawdown day by day that I was in the position, and really my focus at that time was just to get out of the trade, figure out how to get out of this trade unscathed, use some of my buying power to look for that proper dip buy entry, and make back some of the loss that I was sitting in. I was always planning to update you at the end, but I did not update people online during the drawdown period. So that is why I am here today to give you that summary of the NVIDIA trade, share with you the loss that I did incur from that trade, but also share with you how I dip bought that trade, looked for the opportunity back to the upside, and really did protect my portfolio from some of the deeper dip buys and the patience I had while NVIDIA recovered from that opportunity. So guys, pulling up the screens, on the left side, you're going to see my net P&L for the entire NVIDIA position. And on the right side, we're going to talk about a little bit about the year-to-date P&L and all my performance so far this year on E-Trade and be fully open and transparent about what we're doing here and what I've done so far this year. Now, you can see right here, I can go ahead and move this around. I can go back to Saturday, I can go back to Sunday, right? This is a live screen that can update. This is not something that I've changed. And you guys can see right here that the net gain on the NVIDIA position from the day I started it to the day I closed it, which is the day I started it was about a few days before DeepSeek, and the day I ended it was Friday of last week. The net P&L for everything was about $67,000 in the red. Now, if we take that into account, with the portfolio, this is right about a 5% loss. 10% is $140,000. Half of that is $70,000. It's right around a 5% loss on my portfolio. So is the number big? Yes. Is it a percent that I'm comfortable with? Yes. And do I think I did well to fight out of this loss? Yes, I do. Now, if I never fought out of this loss, which you guys can see right here, the first and the big trade and the loss that I took was $184,000. If I never fought back from this trade, taking a $184,000 loss is a healthy loss, and it's about 12% of the portfolio, bigger than I would want to be. But again, not an account size or not a trade that is blowing up a portfolio, nothing that I think I got way out of hand with. Now, the comments and criticism that I'm receiving is that I wasn't fully open about how much I was down during the time that I was holding that original trade. And I will be the first one to tell you, I agree. I could have done better to stay open and transparent about what I was down on that position at the time. But to be quite honest, my friends, I just didn't want to keep sharing that and keep getting hate and criticism about this position. I wanted to keep this to myself. I wanted to try to work myself out of it, and I wanted to go ahead and give you this update when it was all said and done. That was my honest and true plan, and if you feel like I was wrong by not doing that, then I apologize, but that was truly my plan and my expectations and what I wanted to do. So during the last month, I wasn't very open about how much drawdown I was in that trade. I could have done better on that, but here it is, the true numbers, the raw numbers of how this trade ended up. So you can see after that initial drop on DeepSeek, I did do some dip buying. I did some dip buying on NVIDIA, and I'll go ahead and move over to TradeZella to show you where I did some dip buying on these positions. And you can see I did some dip buying on NVIDIA and was able to make about $120,000 after buying some of that action to the downside. So I was able to go from about a $184,000 loss to about a $70,000 loss, buying some of the dip and finding some opportunities. Now, these are all trades that I was very open about. I was buying some dips, I was taking some more action, and I was still holding that unrealized loss that I had at the time. So that is NVIDIA. This is full transparency, everything on the screen for you guys to see. And I hope that this just answers some questions about what I was down on NVIDIA and what was the overall outcome of that trade. $67,000 in the loss, about a 5% loss in the portfolio. And from that point, I've been able to make back that very quickly on some other trades today on Palantir. So if we go over to the right, you guys can see this is my today P&L, which was about a $61,000 win on Palantir. So was this loss something that I can't come back from? No, this is a loss that I can come back from. The criticism being I wasn't open about the drawdown, and I will admit that and accept that. That is something that I will accept. I am someone that's honest and transparent, and that criticism was right. So that is straight from me. You can hear it from me firsthand. Now, the criticism is not that I am not a profitable trader, and I want to show you that I am a profitable trader because I think that's very important if you do follow me. Year to date, I am up $120,000 on the year. Month to date, I'm up $176,000 on the month. And today, I'm up $60,000 in this portfolio in E-Trade. So that E-Trade account has been a very profitable account so far. I've done well. I've hit some speed bumps. I've been hit by some macroeconomic data that's thrown me off. And that is just simply the life of trading. Do I wish that this was a paper trading account? Man, I wish this was a paper trading account. I wish I didn't have to wake up every day and trade this size, right? But something that I've been enjoying to do. It's a lot of stress, but these are real numbers, real accounts. And I would be very happy if this was all just fake and I could just joke around about this all day and not care about what number showed up. But that is the truth of this portfolio. That is the outcome of the NVIDIA trade. Those are my numbers year to date, month to date, and today on the E-Trade portfolio, and I hope that this wraps up this criticism and question mark around this trade. So what I want to do now is I want to pull up TradeZella, and we can go ahead and detail where I got in, where I was exiting, some of these NVIDIA positions. So guys, we'll go ahead and run through some of the dip buys, and then we'll go ahead and show you guys that big loss. The first of 3 dip buys was this one right here. This was a March 21st 120 call. I went ahead and bought these on the 27th of January, sold those on the 20th of February. So I held those for about, give or take, a month, right? And you can see my entries right here. Here were my entries back here, back here. I bought some on the 27th. I bought some on the 31st, and I sold them on the 20th. And this was just about a 42% gain, about a $23,000 win. Now we can go ahead and cross-reference this with my actual portfolio. You guys can see the 27th of January at 931. That was this right here. This position right here, 35 contracts at 1460. That lines up exactly with my E-Trade account. And you can see that that was a real trade that I went ahead and took. Now, the next trade I took was on the 31st, and you guys can see that was this one right here. The 31st, 3 contracts at 1533 that I went ahead and I added to that position. And then the selling of that contract was on the 20th, which I will go to right here on the 20th, the March, right here, the March 21st, 38 of them right there. And that was the exit of that position. So just cross-referencing those with my real E-Trade account. Now, the next dip buy that I went ahead and did was a June 20th 115 call. I got about 67% gain on this position, buying those pretty much at the low around 116 and selling those last Friday around $140 per share, give or take. Go ahead and pull in the E-Trade once again. On the 21st, you guys can see I went ahead and I bought these on the 3rd, my bad. On the 3rd, right here, on the 3rd, 50 contracts right here were the June 20th at 932. You can see that lines up perfect with that trade. Now, we got to push this out to the 21st, and you guys can see right here was my sell. This was at 237 right here, 237, June 20th, sold 50 of them at 28.48, And so that was the next dip buy, which I was able to make about $57,000 on, about 67%. Now, the third and final dip buy was a May 16th 120 call that I went ahead and I made $54,000 on, about 64%. We can go to the executions and I will bring up my E-Trade. So here on E-Trade, you guys can see the May contracts that I went ahead and entered on the 28th. I will go back to the 28th. That is right here, the May 16th 120 calls. I bought 30 of those at $14.56. I bought more on the 3rd. On February 3rd, that was right here, bought 30 more at around $12.95, and I sold those on the 21st right here at $22.76, straight from my E-Trade account, straight from TradeZella. So that was about a $54,000 gain. Last but not least, the absolute smack in the face that I took here on NVIDIA, the $183,000 position that I took about a 52% loss on, which I think was actually still a very decent loss. You guys can see here on the executions, I went ahead and I bought 250 of those contracts, literally the day before DeepSeek, which just is a whirlwind of an experience that I don't think I'll ever experience again. I did dip buy some of those and ultimately sold them around $5. The dip buys being right around where I sold them, so that was good. But that first entry up there, when those contracts were juiced up to 13, I just could not come back from. And you guys can see I will cross-reference that position here. On the 24th, I will have to go back to that. On the 24th, you can see my first purchase right there. I went ahead and I added to those right around here and right around on the 29th, which is right there. And then I sold those on the 11th, which was right here. So net, about a $67,000 loss on NVIDIA. This trade being something I just could not come back from, but I think I did a great job of taking it off when I thought it was over, dip buying some of them, dip buying those other contracts to make back about $120,000. It was a position that I had to react in real time. No one could have expected the DeepSeek gap down to come in, and I got hit by something that I really did not expect to get hit by. I wasn't fully transparent during that period of drawdown, and I could have done better by doing that. Here I am today showing you guys the net outcome of the trade, which didn't blow up my account, didn't make me unprofitable, didn't blow away everything that I've done. It's just another loss, like we always take in trading, about a 5% loss in the portfolio that I believe I did a pretty damn good job coming back from. So there's your video. There's your response. I hope it was a good one. This is the last time I'm going to bring this up. You guys can see I backed up this with real information, real numbers, real data, my live account, the real loss, and that's really the end of the story. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, press that like button. If you hate me now, I apologize, but I think I'm a pretty transparent person online, and I stay open about my month-to-date, my year-to-date numbers, and I promise to always be open and honest about what I do and how I perform in the markets. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.